On the 10th year of our romance, Julian and I finally ended our long-distance relationship and announced our engagement. Halfway through the engagement gala, my fiancé's executive assistant suddenly rushed on stage and dropped to her knees, wailing, "Hawthorne, I can't watch you be deceived. Your fiancée never studied medicine abroad, she was an escort." While the entire room gasped and Julian looked at me with disgust, a riot of colored comments drifted across my vision. "Quinn incoming. The secretary's just projecting, the video star is literally her own face-swapped self. Dead. The cheater's still helping her up? She tested HIV positive yesterday, latent phase already over. Run, Vivian. Don't explain. Lock these two disasters together and let them rot." Julian's hand rose to slap me. "Vivian, you make me sick." I stared at the Crimson AIDS countdown overlay flashing above his head, 3, 2, 1, and barely swallowed a laugh. I took 3 calm steps back and even considerately offered him a tissue. "Since you believe her, I'll skip wearing this cuckold scandal. Oh, and take her to Riverdale for the free meds, wait too long and it'll be too late." Julian ignored the tissue. He slapped the paper out of my hand. "Still throwing shade, Vivian? Serena risked everything to expose you, and you curse her with disease? How twisted are you?" Serena stayed on her knees, crying prettily, the skin scraped raw. She tilted her head, seemingly innocent eyes pinning me. "I'm sorry, sis, I never wanted to ruin your love, but Hawthorne has been so good to me, I can't let him marry trash. I've seen the clips. Same hairstyle swap, but that mole on your chest proves it." The crowd erupted. Whispers flew like needles. Who knew? Studying abroad was really selling herself. A family like Hawthorne can't take a filthy bride. The assistant's loyal, daring to say what no one else would. I watched coldly. Over Julian's head the red ticker still blinked. "Fam, I swear he just touched her hand, no wash," then pawed the bride's face, barf. "This PA's a certified century killer, fled home after burning bridges and now plays pure. Don't defend yourself, girl. They won't buy it, just let the garbage marry itself." I inhaled, forcing down the nausea. Since heaven granted me these subtitles, I'd be a fool to waste them. I met Julian's eyes, my gaze flat as still water. 10 years, and you trust a 3-month secretary over me? His face twisted in revulsion, as if looking at me stained him. He lifted Serena gently, like fragile china. "Trust you? With proof slapping me in the face? Serena's innocent, why would she slander you? You splurged abroad yet barely touched the card I gave you. Found yourself a sugar daddy, selling your body for pocket money, huh?" Serena collapsed against him, trembling. "Don't blame her, Hawthorne. Maybe life forced her hand. Overseas luxuries are pricey, vanity might lead anyone astray. Let sis take a full panel STD test to prove she's clean, then forgive her. A textbook retreat to advance, brand me a vain whore and hint I'm diseased." Julian lost it. He jabbed a finger at the doors, veins bulging. "A test? She deserves that? The Hawthorne threshold isn't for filth like her. Engagement's off. Get out, now. Keep your germs away from Serena and me." Security closed in, shoving me toward the exit. I stumbled, nearly falling. Julian didn't help, instead he shielded Serena, as though I were the plague. I steadied myself and smiled at the man I once loved, now repulsive. "Fine, Julian. Remember every word. You ended this. You threw me out. When you're kneeling one day, don't beg me to look back." He snorted, contempt dripping. "Beg you? In your dreams. I'd stay single forever before glancing at trash like you again. Now scram, you make me sick." I turned and left without hesitation. Behind me Serena cooed, "Don't be angry, Hawthorne. It'll break my heart. To celebrate your freedom, let's have drinks at my place tonight." I just learned cocktails. The Oracle feed exploded. "Don't go. That's a death flag. She's ovulating, baby trap incoming. Let them be." Respect destiny, skip the rescue complex. Perfect match, rotten stock and HIV source. I kept walking, even whistling inwardly. Drink up, one less parasite in the world. I returned to the penthouse Julian and I had shared. Photos on the wall, matching slippers by the door, curtains I'd chosen with care. No tears, no tantrums. I simply pulled out the largest suitcase and began packing. What's mine stays mine, he keeps nothing. Halfway through, the front door burst open. Julian strutted in with Serena on his arm. Spotting my luggage, he frowned in distaste. Still dawdling? Planning to squat. Hurry up and leave, Serena's moving in tonight. I froze, staring. This is my apartment. The deed, inherited from my parents, carries only my name. He paid for the remodel, but the unit itself is mine. Julian sneered and tossed a folder onto the table. Look carefully, this is the gift agreement you signed before you flew out. You said it was to prove your love for me, that you were putting the penthouse in my name. What's the matter? Been spreading your legs so long your brain rotted too? I picked up the document, my hand wouldn't stop shaking. It was from 3 years ago, the night before I left for Stanford. He had cooed that he wanted me to focus on my studies, that he'd manage my stateside assets, and had me sign a stack of papers. Out of absolute trust, I hadn't read a single line. So he'd already been setting me up back then? Serena nestled against him like a prize rooster. She swept her gaze around the room and wrinkled her nose. Hawthorne, this decor is ancient, nothing like your taste. And this couch? God knows how many bodies have rubbed on it, it's filthy. After living in whatever dorms overseas, who knows what germs she dragged back. I'll have it all hauled out tonight and replaced, okay? Julian brushed the tip of her nose fondly. Whatever you want. Furniture that thing touched is bad luck. Trash the lot, pick whatever you like. My heart turned to ice. 10 years of my life, fed to a dog. Fresh oracle lines drifted across my vision. Shameless. Straight up fraud. FL don't fold. Record. Save evidence. Bitch has a cut on her hand, was bleeding a second ago, and she just stroked the sofa. Holy Quinn. She's stuffing the bloody band-aid between the cushions. I narrowed my eyes. Sure enough, Serena's finger sported a band-aid with a crimson dot. While Julian stepped away to pour water, she pretended to pet the couch and quietly wedged the bloody band-aid deep into the seam. Stealthy, vicious. If I accidentally brushed it, or sat on it, the fallout would be unthinkable. I choked back the urge to lunge and claw her face. Not yet. I had no proof she was HIV positive, saying it aloud would only sound like a curse. I would wait. Wait for the day they swallowed their own poison. I snapped the suitcase shut and pulled up the handle. Since you love this penthouse so much, it's yours. Enjoy living in peace. I weighed the word peace like a lead ingot. Serena's expression flickered, as if she'd caught a whisper of menace, but she quickly slipped back into her smug mask. Don't trip on your way out, sis. If you ever end up homeless, maybe beg Hawthorne, he's kind, he might toss you a crust. Julian walked over with his glass, not even glancing my way. Why waste words on that? Get lost. Don't wreck my alone time with Serena. I dragged my luggage out without looking back. The door slammed like a gunshot behind me. Serena's coquettish giggle chased after. Hawthorne, you're so bad. I stood at the elevator, staring at the sealed door. Silently I counted. Enjoy every second. This is your last carnival. After leaving the penthouse, I checked into the Grand for the night. At dawn I headed to Hawthorne. Not to beg, to resign. When I'd returned from Stanford to lighten Julian's load, I joined Hawthorne's medical device subsidiary as our D director. Now that the mask was shredded, the job was untenable. The instant the lobby doors slid open, the air curdled. The receptionist who used to chirp "Good morning," Jamie, kept her eyes on her phone, lips curled in contempt. Employees whispered and pointed as I passed. There she is, e-girl VIP. Who knew? Ice queen by day, back alley freak by night. Word is Hawthorne dumped her, Secretary Blair's the upgrade. Serves her right. A worn-out toy thinking she could enter Hawthorne? I kept my face blank and walked to the elevators. I'd expected the poison. Serena would have paid trolls to flood every company chat before the engagement gala fiasco cooled. Ding, doors parted. Serena poured out in a skin-tight scarlet dress, clinging to Julian's arm. Of course, she gasped theatrically. Oh my, if it isn't Jamie? Kicked out with nowhere to crash, so you came to mooch free AC? Julian halted, looking down his nose at me. Disgust dripped from every syllable. Vivian, you dare show your face here? Come to grovel for your job? Listen up, Hawthorne doesn't bankroll leeches, let alone public disgraces. Scram before I call security to toss you. I met his glare with ice. I'm here to process my resignation, and to collect my personal belongings from her, D. Serena unhooked herself, click-clacked over, and yanked my collar. Personal stuff? Sweetie, planning to hawk company secrets? No more Hawthorne sugar daddy, can't fall back on your old trade, you must be desperate for cash. Her crimson mouth brushed my cheek, reeking of perfume and something sour metal. Oracle exploded in red banners. Don't let her touch you. Virus under those nails. She was puking blood in the restroom, didn't wash. On purpose. She wants to scratch you. I jerked back and slapped her hand away. Don't touch me. Serena toppled backward, landing on the marble. Ah. It hurts. Tears flooded as she cradled her hand, an angry welt already blooming. I'd barely used force, but her illness left skin paper thin. Julian shoved me hard. Vivian, have you lost it? You attack her in front of me? I hit the wall, spine jarring. Julian helped her up, roaring. Apologize to Serena, now. Emery! On your knees. A ring of gawkers thickened. Everyone waited for blood. Serena wilted against him, voice frail. Hawthorne, forget it. Jamie didn't mean it. Maybe I was too blunt, hit a sore spot. Just hand over the R.D. key and I'll let it go. The R.D. key? That room held every core patent I'd spent years bleeding for. It crystallized some of my late-night prototypes and grant proposals. And she planned to walk out with it under her arm? The oracle scrolled across my vision. This green tea which is gonna pawn the FL's patents to a rival firm for drug money. Julian the blockhead, he's helping count the cash from his own coffin. Don't hand it over, girl, that IP is your ace in the hole. I straightened, knuckles brushing the collar Julian had wrinkled. My gaze slid over the two conspirators fused at the hip. I'll give you the key card, I said. But Julian, think hard first. This woman doesn't just want your money. She wants your life. Hand her the steering wheel and you're digging your own grave. Julian barked out a laugh like I'd told the best joke in Riverdale. My life? Vivian, quit the scare tactics and the jealous spin. Serena's loyal, 10,000 times more real than your plastic saint act. Fork over the key, then get lost. He snatched the keycard and the matching brass key from my palm and hurled them at Serena. She caught them mid-air, triumph blooming across her face. A smile dripping hunger and venom. Thank you for your trust, Hawthorne. I'll be sure to take extra good care of our D. She bit down on extra good, eyes flicking to me in open taunt. You've lost. Utterly. Watching Julian shield her erased the last ripple in my chest. If you insist on sprinting toward the cliff, I'll gift you the tailwind. 3 days after I cleaned out my desk, my phone vibrated. Tonight's charity gala, you'll be there, Julian snapped, voice edged with iron. Our engagement was public, a sudden no-show tanks the share price. Show up, smile, recant that little misunderstanding, and I might cut you a severance check. Clear up the misunderstanding? Translation, stone me in the town square and cement the guilt. Still, I agreed. Because the oracle flashed. Go. Mandatory plot drop ahead. Serena's planning a headline-grabbing stunt tonight. She's gonna spike the champagne with her own blood. Last-ditch psycho move, and the exact moment she self-immolates. The gala was staged at the Grand, downtown's Crystal Palace. I wore a black sheath so plain it vanished against the marble. No diamonds, no loaned Harry Winston, just skin and strategy. The moment I crossed the threshold, cameras swiveled toward Julian and Serena center stage. She glowed in crimson silk cut to the tailbone, my engagement diamonds glittering at her throat like spoils of war. Spotting me, she linked arms with Julian and glided over. "Oh, look, the ex-fiancé actually showed. Thought you'd be too humiliated to face decent people." Her voice carried, heads pivoted, pupils widening with hunger for fresh scandal. Julian leaned in, breath hot against my ear. "When we're called on stage, you'll say the footage was a drunken prank, you've repented. Take full blame, keep Hawthorne's name spotless." I studied him, incredulous. "Let me get this straight, you want me to confess to imaginary crimes on a mic, and you call that clarification?" His face darkened. "Don't push me, Vivian. Play along and the payout keeps you comfortable for years. Fight me and you'll never work in medtech again." A waiter drifted by with a silver tray of flutes. Serena's eyes sparked. She reached, then let her hand slip with theatrical precision. Crystal exploded against terrazzo, red wine bled across the floor in glistening shards. "Ah!" Serena yelped, folding to her knees, fingers clamped around her ankle. "Hawthorne, I think I'm cut." Julian dropped beside her, panic cracking his voice. "Where? How deep?" She lifted a tear-slick face toward me, finger trembling as it pointed. "She shoved me, Miss Sterling shoved me just now. I know she hates me for taking Julian, but it was an accident, I swear." Murmurs ricocheted, vicious, attacking someone in public. Jealousy turned her rotten. Julian sprang up and slammed a palm into my shoulder. "Vivian! Enough! Emery, apologize and bandage her. Now." I staggered back a step, then locked my knees. From this angle I caught the glint between Serena's fingers. A razor shard she'd palmed mid-fall, already kissing her own flesh. Crimson beads raced down her wrist. The oracle feed blazed blood red. "Quinn! Quinn! She's hunting for skin-to-skin contact. Biohazard incoming. Do not let that blood touch you, game over if it does." Serena extended her dripping hand, voice quivering in practiced falsetto. "Sis, I don't blame you, just help me up, please. It hurts so bad, all I need is a hand." Julian clamped iron fingers around my wrist, yanking me toward her. "Deaf now? Help her! She's bleeding, if it scars, I'll ruin you." His grip ground bone, momentum hurled me off balance. Serena's eyes flashed wild elation as her infected blood angled straight for my cheek. 10 centimeters. 5. "Vivian, on your knees, repent." At the last heartbeat I pistoned my knee up, ramming it into the soft pit behind Julian's kneecap. Every ounce of rage from the past week poured into the blow. A crack like snapping wood. Julian screamed, torso pitching forward, crashing full weight onto Serena's outstretched arms. The shard in her grip slashed across his face as they collided, her palm smearing a crimson handprint across his lips. Blood seeped between his teeth, painting his gums. The ballroom froze in cathedral silence. Oracle's banner scrolled neon green confetti. "Perfect! That kick was poetry. Holy crap, he just drank the contagion cocktail. Congrats, Hawthorne, HIV Express delivery fulfilled. Karma's a beautiful bee asterisk 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 dot." I pivoted backward, widening the safety zone, and let the cameras feast. I pulled a bottle of medical-grade alcohol spray from my bag, one I'd stashed there hours ago, and blasted the air around me like I was running a biohazard Deccan. The two still writhing on the marble hadn't worked out what was happening. Julian tasted iron. Instinctively he licked his lip. "What the hell?" He shoved Serena away, swiped his mouth, and stared at the crimson streaking his palm. Serena, dazed from the blow, saw his blood-smeared face and shrieked. "Hawthorne! Are you okay?" "I didn't mean." She reached to blot the mess, then noticed her own hand gushing, the cut so deep bone glinted beneath. I stood a few paces off, watching the farce unfold, voice crisp enough to carry to the farthest harpist. "Julian, stop scrubbing. Get to a hospital. Wait any longer and even the PEP regimen won't save you." He froze, eyes snapping to me with rabid hatred. Vivian! You kicked me? What did you just say? What pep? I lifted my phone and opened the PDF the Oracle audience had emailed seconds earlier, Serena's full-panel STD test. With a tap I beamed it onto the 80-foot LED wall above the orchestra. Take a good look, everyone. Serena's HIV viral load is off the charts. She's already in the symptomatic stage. The screen glowed, positive, name, photo, driver's license number, all hers. The ballroom detonated into screams. Sycophants who'd been toasting the couple moments ago recoiled as if she were radioactive. Holy shit, AIDS? My God, she clinked my glass. Did Julian just swallow her blood? Dry heaves rippled through the crowd. Someone vomited into a champagne flute. Julian's face bleached parchment white. He turned to Serena, pupils trembling. Say, Serena? Tell me this isn't real. She was past pretense, scrabbling to cover the LED, fingers inches too short. No. It's fake, Vivian photoshopped it. Hawthorne, believe me, I'm perfectly healthy. I'm just a little anemic lately. I laughed, low and thin. Anemic? Then you won't mind if one of the doctors here draws a quick vial. This is a charity gala, after all, and we have 3 laureates on the guest list. A silver-haired physician stepped forward, eyes grim behind half-moon glasses. No need. Look at the dermal necrosis around the laceration, the cervical lymphadenopathy, classic immune collapse. Hawthorne, for your own safety, proceed to Riverdale immediately and start the PEP regimen. His verdict was the guillotine blade. Julian's knees wobbled, bile surged. He shoved Serena away and doubled over, retching until strings of yellow bile swung from his lips as though he could expel the tainted blood along with the liquor. Serena crashed into a table leg, shrieking, then crawled back and clamped his ankle. Hawthorne! Don't listen. I love you. What does illness matter if we love each other? You promised to care for me forever. Love was ashes. Fear ruled now. Julian yanked free and drove his Oxford toe into her sternum. Get off me, you bitch. You tried to kill me, why didn't you warn me? He kicked again, harder. I'll kill you, I swear I'll kill you. Serena curled, then uncurled like a baited badger. Row in. If I go down, we go down together. I'm already rotting, one cushion for the grave is fine by me. She lunged, fingernails clawing for his eyes. Glass exploded, gilt chairs toppled. The fairy tale lovers were rabid animals, ripping hair, skin, sanity, while 500 phones recorded every frame. The Oracle feed went berserk in my retina. Popcorn worthy. Better than HBO. Dog eat dog, fur everywhere. Julian's rep is roadkill, RIP. Queen Vivian just checkmated from orbit. I watched from the perimeter, indifferent. They'd scripted their own ruin, I'd merely posted the reviews. Minutes later Detective Morris strode in, badge flashing. I'd called in the complaint, felony reckless exposure. Paramedics followed, wheeling Julian out on a stretcher, arms flayed raw, throat convulsing with aftershock. They cuffed Serena as she shrieked obscenities, mascara carving tarry rivers down her cheeks. Vivian! I'll haunt you from hell. I gave a pageant wave. First make it to hell, darling. Till then, enjoy cell block C. Julian's gaze met mine for a final instant, hollow, pleading. I turned before he could speak, coat swirling like a curtain fall. Hawthorne, best of luck. Hope the PEP regimen works. Though, the odds aren't exactly rosy. By dawn the hashtags dominated every feed. Hashtag Hawthorne CEO AIDS scare. Hashtag Psychosecretary viral rampage. Hashtag Gala brawl of the century. Hawthorne stock opened limit down, circuit breakers triggered. The board convened in panic, unanimously sacking Julian. Lenders called loans, partners fled. And I, designated villain turned spotless victim, walked away spotlit by sympathy, patents clutched to my chest, the Empire's keys already warming in my palm. The video that had slandered me was restored to the truth by a tech guru, actually the Oracle. The original clip was Serena herself. Her messy private life overseas was ripped bare, right down to her underwear. Netizens flocked to my socials to apologize. Sorry, sis, We were blind and blamed the wrong person. Sis, you're so badass. That scumbag should have been dumped long ago. Please write a book. Teach us how to spot scumbags and green tea bitches. I didn't reply. I had bigger fish to fry. Namely, closing the net. Julian had been ousted, but he still held Hawthorne equity stakes. That was his last lifeline. And I was going to leave him with nothing. I reached out to the contacts I'd cultivated inside Hawthorne and the major shareholders who'd always believed in me. Using my insider knowledge of Hawthorne, our deep projects, and the core patents I now controlled, I began vacuuming up scattered shares at rock-bottom prices. I knew Julian needed cash fast. Medical bills, legal fees, plugging the company's holes. He would unload stock. Sure enough, within days a broker called. Someone was desperate to dump Hawthorne shares. The price was absurdly low. I bought every last share without blinking. By the time Julian realized it, I had become Hawthorne's largest individual shareholder. I sat in the corner office that had once been his, spinning the leather chair, watching the traffic crawl below. A banner drifted across my vision. Congratulations, FL, achievement unlocked, Queen returns. Next up, beat the drowning dog. Can't wait for the scene where Julian kneels and begs. Julian was discharged. Side effects of the PEP regimen had melted the flesh off his bones. He looked gaunt and deranged. With only a 50% success rate, he was still trapped in the window period waiting game. Every day was torment. He came looking for me while I was in a board meeting. Security blocked him at the door. The once untouchable CEO now lacked even entry rights. I told them to let him in. The moment he saw me, he dropped to his knees. Vivian, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. That which blinded me. I love you. For the sake of 10 years together, save me, save Hawthorne. He sobbed, reaching for the hem of my skirt. I stepped back in disgust. Hawthorne, have some dignity. We no longer have any relationship. As for Hawthorne, it's now my company, none of your concern. Julian looked up, stunned. Your company? You're the majority shareholder? You looted my shares while the house was on fire? I smiled down at him. This is called business strategy. Looting is crude. Weren't you the one who told me to get lost? I'm back, only now I'm the boss. Julian's face turned ashen. He finally understood he hadn't just lost a woman. He'd lost the entire world. He snapped. Vivian! You venomous bitch. You knew all along, didn't you? You knew Serena was sick and kept quiet. You wanted me dead. How vicious. I crouched, meeting his bloodshot eyes. Vicious? Who tried to destroy me completely? Who wanted to throw me in prison? Who pushed me toward that infected woman? I gave you a chance. At the engagement gala, I handed you a tissue and told you to go to the Riverdale Department of Health. You slapped it away. You chose to trust her, to hold her in your arms. You picked the road, now crawl it on your knees. Julian opened his mouth, but no sound came. Regret gnawed his heart like a viper. He remembered the tissue he'd swatted aside, his only lifeline, severed by his own hand. Ah! He clutched his head and howled in despair. 1 month later, Serena's sentence came down: intentional transmission of infectious disease, plus defamation, trade secret theft, and more. Combined, 8 years. Given her condition, she'll serve it in the state prison hospital. They say she lost her mind in court, muttering, "I'm Hawthorne. I'm the dynasty's young madam." As for Julian, his final test result came back positive. That single bite of blood that night had been unavoidable. When he heard, he fell apart. He barricaded himself in a rented studio, seeing no one, drinking himself senseless day after day. The Hawthorne parents collapsed from the scandal and were hospitalized. The once glorious Hawthorne dynasty lay in ruins. I stood on the top floor of the Hawthorne Tower, gazing over the city. Sunlight poured over me, warm and golden. My phone buzzed. A news alert. Former Hawthorne CEO Julian dies of multi-organ failure after alcohol abuse, doctors unable to save him. I swiped it away without opening. Wasting time on an irrelevance isn't worth it. The Oracle feed drifted past one last time. Mission complete, confetti. Queen reigns alone. Career is everything. Farewell, may the you in a parallel universe stay happy forever. The floating words faded into nothing. I knew my had expired, but it no longer mattered. I'd grown powerful enough to steer my own life. My assistant knocked. Cameron, the board meeting is set for this afternoon. I straightened my collar and gave a confident smile. Let's go. A new journey has just begun. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If you liked it, please like and share with friends. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.